This is about as real as it gets, folks. It's a hot day, 26, 28. In my world, that's hot because I carry a lot of extra Canadian insulation. And so it is just about supper time, and I've got some things going on tonight, but I have these nice little crop of cucumbers that came in, and I figure I gotta get moving on this. And so I'm going to, it's embarrassing how simple these pickles are. I'm thinking probably I was 24 when I experienced the first of fermented pickles. And we go through pickles, I have a hard time making a year. So these aren't meant to last like your 2-year stint as they would with a regular brine recipe, which I have also done and I will do. These are called cold water dills, and I stumbled upon it, like I said, when I was about 24 years old. Didn't have any air conditioning in the house. Still don't have, I haven't really, evolved. I still don't have air conditioning, but it was so hot in August and I had so many cucumbers, and I was complaining at work saying, oh, I have to go home and boil water and do this whole brine thing. And then my friend said, a younger friend said, well, my mom doesn't have to do that. She does this. And I said, you get me the recipe. So here we are making cold water dills. I'm Lori-Ann and this is Stonehaven Shorts. So like I said, quickly before supper, this is how quickly this is going to be. Now, I did cheat a little bit because I have made a batch before a couple of days ago, and I actually overestimated and had an extra jar. So within this jar, for a quart, I gotta refer to my recipe here. 1 quart is 1.5 tablespoons of pickling salt. I just use your standard pickling salt. I don't, use the kosher, although I'm sure that would be fine too. So 1.5 tablespoons of salt, 3 tablespoons of sugar. That's what you're putting in the bottom here with however much dill that you want. And I have actually used dill seed from spice jars when I've run out of dill. I have increased the sugar, I've increased the salt. So to taste really is what you want. We love garlic. I have added 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 little cloves of garlic in here. And literally what you do next is just start stuffing. Now I make sure when I am washing these cucumbers that you have your stem, of course, and then you have your blossom end. I like to make sure that blossom end is off, because every time I'm washing cucumbers, my dad's voice rings through and says, get that end off of there, you'll have a soggy pickle. So I pull it off and stick it in. I also left a few of these just to show you. Again, my dad's voice is ringing through saying, that happens because of inconsistent watering. Make sure that you're out there watering every day, Lori-Ann. And I would like to say that I didn't have to because it was raining so much. But then we went for a bit of a dry spell, and then there was golf and, beer and different things that I prioritized. So I did a bunch of watering last night, and I think we're expecting a thunder shower, thus the whole sweat on my face, and it's quite humid in here today. So just making sure that all of the blossoms are off, and I always tilt my jars because they sit nicer while you're, Jenga-ing these pickles. And I try and get as many in as possible, of course, because when you are throwing your brine in, which is so simple, again, I almost feel guilty telling you guys this, it's going to float. And as they begin to ferment, they also shrink a little bit. So you want to make sure that you've got as much in as humanly possible. Plus all these little guys are so good at when you first open up that jar, we all fight over the first little few. Okay, I think that's good. Yeah, so there we go. That's where I am. And I also wanted to show you these. These are kind of the mutant pickles. One got caught in the fence. These are kind of bulged and wrinkled. And then I have one that's a little too big. I guess maybe you could make pickles out of it, but I will slice these up and put them in a smaller jar to make dill pickled chips. Just not like crunchy chips, but pickle chips for hamburgers and or your crackers and cheese and that thing because they're already done up. So here we have our jar. This is how simple it goes. You need pickling vinegar. And again, I think I spoke about vinegar before. Not that there's any particular brand that's better than the other, but the percentage of acetic acid is important. So I try and use between 5 and 7%. This one is actually 7%, which I like for pickles. Be careful because there are some out there that are 4%. You don't want that for your pickling. So you fill this up with about halfway with vinegar. So again, we have our salt, our sugar, our garlic, our dill on the bottom. We've stuffed it full of our cucumbers. I'm going to pour this at about half, and maybe a little bit more because I like a little bit of zip in it. And then we fill the rest with water. So my water's just over here. Yeah, excuse me if I pop out of camera for a little bit. Just gonna fill that up. And I want everything covered. I want all of my cucumbers covered. So you can see there should be nothing that's popping through. Now this jar was clean. I did run it through my dishwasher. You could do it in warm soapy water. You could run boiling water over it, whatever. You're not necessarily sealing these jars, but you want a tight lid. So I am using my normal lids. Pop that baby on there. I'm turning it around and giving it a shake just to start the process, get that salt and that sugar moving throughout the vinegar. Oh, clearly I better make sure that ring is on a little better. It's a little spilly. That's it. That is a jar of pickles. You can do that as soon as you come home from work before you have supper on the table. That is how quick and easy it is. Now the rest of them, I'm going to throw in the same kind of process. Just slice them up, put them in a smaller jar for dill pickle chips to put on our hamburgers or your crackers and cheese. Seriously, I know. Life-changing. Cold water dills, people. I'm Lorianne and this is Stonehaven Shorts. If you know nothing about nothing and you want to learn and make mistakes with me, come on by and tune in next time.